Yay. Hello. It's Helen here from helenmartinonline.com. And I have Harley with me here today. Say hello, Harley. Harley didn't make an appearance last week, so the Helen and Harley show didn't really happen last week, did it? Hey? He's getting bigger, but he's still pretty cute. I'll put him down in a moment. Just wanted to say hello to everybody. So today I'm talking about stress. Stress is making you dumb. It's making you fat. It's making you make silly decisions. It's messing with your health. There's all sorts of things that stress has a negative effect on you. So let's talk about it today. And why I'm talking about this today is if you're new to my lives, please say hello. Tell me where you're coming in from. If you're watching the replay, put the word replay down below so I can give you a shout out later. But the reason why I'm talking about this today is because once a week I jump on and talk about something to do with mindset, personal development. Hey Glenn, twice in one day, cool. Something to help you be a better version of yourself. Because although I teach home-based business owners, entrepreneurs, network marketers, build their business online and teach all sorts of skills like social media branding, lead generation, video marketing, Facebook Live, those kind of things. Those skills mean nothing if you haven't got your head screwed on right. And I mean that in the nicest possible way, that we've all got stuff that we deal with. We all get stressed about certain things. We all worry about certain things. We often worry too much about what other people think of us or what we're doing. You are very lucky. Why am I lucky, Glenn? Oh, to get you twice in one day. Of course I'm lucky. Yes, agreed. Hey, Leslie. Oh, and Leslie said hello to Harley. Thank you, Leslie. So, it's really important. You can learn all the skills under the sun. I can teach you how to brand yourself online. I can teach you how to build an online business. But if you doubt yourself, if you don't believe in yourself, if you're stressed to the hilt, it's going to stop you doing things. It's going to stop you taking the necessary action. You're going to sit in fear. When we sit in fear, we don't do the things that we know we need to do to move ourselves and our business forward. So once a week I do jump on and talk about something like this just to help, it helps me too talking about this stuff. By no means just because I am very passionate about it and I teach it mean that I've got all my, I can't use that word, all my life together. Perhaps I should say it in that way. So what you can do though is when you're more aware of things, you have the ability to deal with things faster. So if you get really stressed about something, when you learn how to deal with it, you just don't sit in that place very long. So that's really all we could want to achieve, because there's no way anybody is not going to deal with any stress. There's no way that anybody is going to walk through life not caring ever what somebody thinks about them, or not feeling needed, and all sorts of stuff like that. And stuff is still going to happen in your life that you're not going to like. Or maybe bad things, happen, or tragic things happened. That's just life. Things are gonna be thrown at us. Maybe your business is not going the way you want it to. Maybe you've got big vision and big dreams and big goals, but nothing's going your way at the moment. Maybe you just feel like I just can't take a break at the moment because everything's going wrong. So, those kind of things cause stress. But honestly, what stress does to our bodies, and I know this, I've had health issues because, it's been brought out by stress, and it wreaks havoc on your body. So what I want to share on today's live is 5 ways that can help you deal with stress. And if you do take these things on board, you will limit the amount of stress that you deal with. It doesn't mean you're not going to experience stress ever. It's a helping hand to, when you get panicked, when you get stressed, when things aren't going your way, that you've got a better way to dealing with it so you don't sit in the stress for too long. It's impossible to think that we'll never get stressed ever again, because that's just part of life. You're going to get stressed about, and you're going to have trigger points that are going to push your buttons, where you do get stressed. But if you've got some tools up your sleeve that can help you minimize that stress, then, that would be, really beneficial to you. Hey, Emmy, how are you today? Great to see you on live. So, stress. The first thing you need to be, aware of that can help you stress is that you are stressed. Do you know how many people are stressed that don't think they're stressed or fail to admit that they're stressed? So, no, I'm not stressed, I'm just busy. No, there's nothing wrong. What's wrong? Nothing's wrong. Heard of that before with your partner? Nothing's wrong. And you just put on this front that, you're not stressed. So number one is actually realizing, I'm actually not coping, or and not burying your head in the sand with it. So if your business isn't working, you can't just bury your head in the sand and leave it. Just drop it, especially if you're in a home-based business. The easiest thing to do is just ignore it. Get busy with other things, and then you tell yourself, I've just been really busy. You haven't really been that busy. You're actually ignoring it because you're stressing out about it. So number one thing is you have to realize when things aren't going your way that you need to deal with them, not bury your head in the sand. If you've got a problem in a relationship with somebody, don't ignore it and not talk to each other. You have an argument with your partner and you don't talk to each other for 3 days. You're just ignoring it, and it's just causing unnecessary stress for both parties. So the mature thing to do, and the quicker you can get over stress, the better, because it wreaks havoc on your body and your mind. It makes you stupid. You make stupid decisions. It messes with your digestion. It messes with your immune system. So the longer you allow it to hang around, the longer you are sitting in issues, whether that be relationship issues, financial issues, issues with your business, whatever it is, and don't take control of it, then you're just really causing your body havoc. So the first thing is to realize that you are stressed. In what areas are you stressed that you need to deal with something quickly? Don't sit on it. Hey Peter, how are you? Great to see you on live. So that's the first thing, recognizing it and deal with it quickly. Don't be one of those people that's in an argument with a friend or a relative or a partner, a husband, a wife, even a child. And you turn your back on it, and it's like they need to apologize first. I'm not apologizing. Like, be the bigger person and express what you're feeling. Communication is the key to everything. Does that make sense? If that makes sense, send me some likes and love. Communication is the key to everything, particularly with stress in relationships. So you might, if there's one thing I've learned, seriously, women, what's the saying? Women are from Mars, men are for Venus, or is it the other way around? You know that book? If there's one thing I've learned, that is so true. Like, you might be crappy on your partner, your husband or your wife or something, because they haven't done something that you thought they should do. So they should do the dishes, or they should make the bed, or they should do something, and then you get pissed at them because they haven't. But you're thinking one thing and they've got no idea that you're upset with them. Or you think, you want some acknowledgement for something that you've done and you're expecting it, and then you get upset because you didn't get the acknowledgement, and yet the other person's got no idea that you're upset about acknowledgement that they didn't know they needed to give. So don't ever think your partner, your friends, know what you're thinking, or know what you want, or know what you expect in business and in personal sort of relationships. So communication is, everything. Good morning to you too, Peter. It is morning here in Australia. That's why the sun is shining. It's very cold outside, but for a lot of you OS, it will be nighttime. So the first thing is realizing that you are stressed and being the bigger person to deal with it. I've just got some notes here that I'm referring to so I stay on track. The second thing is you've got to think of some techniques to control the stress. So one of the biggest things, it is so simple, but I use this myself, is just breathing. So if you find yourself in a moment of panic, stress, you've had an argument with something, somebody's pushed your buttons again, whatever it is that's making you feel stressed, just take a step back and take some deep breaths. Just breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth, and calm yourself down. Because what happens when we get stressed? Cortisol goes rushing to your brain. Instantly, when cortisol goes rushing to your brain, it halves your IQ in seconds. So when you're in a stressed state and you're trying to make rational, important decisions, you invariably won't make the right decisions. So it's not a good place to be to make decisions. You need to calm yourself down and like get rid of the cortisol, because it halves your IQ. You're not in a space to make really good, rational, pertinent decisions. And it just sends, all this cortisol to your brain and the blood rushing through your body, and it puts you in a panic state. So it wreaks havoc on your body. So if you're feeling in that way where you're getting stressed about something, turn your back on it, walk away, and just do 5 or 10 deep breathing, just calm your body and your thoughts down. If you are able, I would highly encourage you to do daily practices like meditation, things like that. I do meditation when I go to, you're right, mate. When I go to sleep at night to turn my brain off. Otherwise, I'm just thinking. I'm a thinker. I do tend to overthink things. I admit that, with even in my business or conversations or relationships, things like that. And I'll run through my mind. Can you relate to this? If you can relate to this, click yes, that you just sort of overthink things sometimes. So I go to that when on my head, that comes with me when my head hits the pillow at night. So I listen to a meditation, when I go to bed. So it completely switches off my brain, and I never get through it. Like, I'm asleep in about 5, 10, most 15 minutes. So do things that work for you as far as minimizing your stress, but absolutely at a minimum, breathing. It is so simple, but so effective. So just remember that when you're stressed, just walk away and do a few deep breaths. You overthink all the time too. Yeah, it's a common trait, Leslie. Number 3, control the meaning of situations that you are in. Now, what I mean by that is you need to hack your thought processes and change the meaning of a circumstance from the meaning that triggered the stress. So what I mean by that is, let me give you a couple of examples. Something's going wrong. So let's say rain's coming in. Something's going wrong in your business. And so the meaning you attach to that in the moment, let's say something, just goes horribly wrong in the moment. So you attach the meaning to that. This doesn't work. This is too hard. Just nothing's going right. And you put yourself in a stressful state with that overall meaning. So something's triggered your immediate stress, and then your meaning to that is that everything's going wrong. I can't do a thing right. This doesn't work. So when you hack your thinking and control the actual meaning of what's going on, and you ask a few questions like, okay, what does this actually mean? What can I learn from this? What's actually happening here? What's the message that I'm meant to get here? When you ask good quality questions like that, you hack the meaning of the situation. So your initial stress trigger might be, this doesn't work. Nothing's working in my business. It's just, anything I try, those kind of things. That's the meaning that you're attaching to the situation. So overall, you're thinking, my business doesn't work. It's too hard, etc. Think about that in reality. So you're stressed about that. Control the meaning by asking the right questions. What's really going on? Something that happened right there and then triggered a stress reaction, which can triggered a meaning. So when you ask the right questions, well, what does that actually mean? It means that I actually really don't know what I'm doing. I need to learn some more skills with this thing that I'm doing, because the way I'm doing at the moment doesn't actually work. So what it actually means is that I'm not being effective in my business because I'm not quite sure what I'm doing, and I'm just throwing stuff up against the wall hoping it will stick. So the meaning to it is I need to get more skills. The meaning to it might be I'm actually recognizing that I'm really confused. I'm not moving forward in my business and I need to ask for some help. That's the real meaning. It doesn't mean your business doesn't work. It doesn't mean your relationships aren't going to work. It doesn't mean you're not ever going to earn good money. So control the meaning, control your thoughts. In stressful situations, we get triggered and we think the worst. this person hates me, this person doesn't like me, my business doesn't work, I'll never earn any good money. Oh, and we make these blatant, stupid stress, statements that come from stress, which are totally not true. So control the meaning of the situation that is different from the meaning that was triggered when you were initially stressed. I hope that's making sense to you and how that explained it. So just quickly, one more time, when something stressful happens, you attach a meaning to it. That person hates me. What's going on? You get an initial meaning. So control the meaning, because that's not what it really means. That's just what you're being triggered to in the stress. So when you really think about things and ask the question, what is this actually telling me? What am I learning from this? That's when you're going to control the meaning. So what you're learning from it, say it's a particular individual. Say it's a husband or a wife or something and you've had an argument. So in the initial moment, you're stressed, you say things you shouldn't do, it triggers certain emotions, you get shitty, they get shitty, then you don't talk to each other for 3 days, and that's the way it stays. So the meaning to it is just all wrong. Now, if you really ask the right questions and think about, the meaning of the situation, the meaning is you're not on the same wavelength. You're not communicating effectively, and you're not understanding each other's point of view. So control the meaning. Ask the right questions and control the meaning. When you can do that, you can deal with stress a whole lot better than just throwing your hands in the air and going, this doesn't work, that doesn't work. They're being irrational. I don't like them. They don't like me, whatever the situation is. But when you control the actual meaning after the initial stress response, then you can actually have half a chance to deal with it. When you sit in that moment of this is not working, that's not working, especially when it comes to business. And if you're in a home-based business, like an entrepreneur, network marketer, it's really difficult because you have to have an entrepreneurial mindset, not an employee mindset. An employee mindset is that you turn up to work and you get told what to do. And you know what you have to do because it's written in a job description, what you have to do every day. When you run a home-based business, you're an entrepreneur, network marketer, those kind of things, there's nobody giving you a job description. There's nobody telling you what to do. There's nobody guiding you. So you have to be big enough and ugly enough and strong enough to deal with that and realize that you are the one that's in control. So if you're getting really stressed about things in your life, in your relationships or business, then you have to control the meaning of those situations. Sorry, there's an alert there. Does that make sense? Can you just put the word sense down below if that's making sense to you? Because this is where a lot of entrepreneurs fail, because they don't control the meaning of the situations that they're in. So if you're an employee and something goes wrong, then you've got a boss or somebody that'll pull you up on it, maybe even performance review you through it, give you guidance as to what you're doing wrong and what you do, maybe what you could do better. When you're an entrepreneur in a home-based business, network marketing business, that kind of thing, that doesn't exist. So if you're in stressful states in your business, you have to be big enough to control the meaning of what's going on. Now, controlling the meaning of what's going on is this doesn't work. It's not that it doesn't work. It's just that you're not working out what you need to do maybe. Maybe you don't have the necessary skills yet to do what you need to achieve. So work it out. Work out who to ask. Work out where to learn those skills. Don't sit in the stress, because people sit in stress for way, way too long. Years. People sit in unhappy relationships for years that stress them out. People, like employees, stay in jobs for years that they're unhappy with. Entrepreneurs go on a massive roller coaster of emotions. Yay, it's Courtney. She said hello. Hey Courtney, thanks for saying hi to Harley. He hadn't been on for a while, so I thought it was time. I've got to make Helen and Harley show work. Leslie, it's learning to change your mindset from an employee to an entrepreneur. Absolutely. And it's hard, and Courtney, you've nailed it. It's an absolute roller coaster. And you know what's easier sometimes? It's easier sometimes to get a job and get somebody to tell you what to do. But you're going to get stuck in that, working for somebody else, being told what to do for the rest of your life rather than controlling your own destiny. What would you rather have? So yeah, it's bring him to Vegas. I don't know about that, Courtney. What's the flight? Like, we've got, I think it's 35 hours of flying next week to get to Vegas, because we're actually going Australia, New Zealand, LA, Vegas. So it's a long trip. I'm not sure this one would cope. I'm not sure I would cope with him. So he'll be fine. Yeah, so he's being looked after. We'll miss him though. It's the first time we would have, been apart from him. Anyway, so I might be a bit jet lagged when I see you, Courtney. So back to topic. So, sometimes it's a roller coaster of emotions being, in a home-based business, entrepreneur, network marketer, direct sales, MLM, if you're any of those kind of businesses. So it's really important to control your stress and realize, what I was just saying before with controlling, the meaning of things, that you actually don't get overcome by irrational meaning. So when you're triggered by stress, you give it a meaning. So hack that meaning. Get your brain, you need to train your brain to deal with stress. So one way you do that is the number 2, is by the breathing, meditation, whatever floats your boat in dealing with those kind of things. But the number 3 in controlling the meaning of certain things is really, really important for you to learn to do for yourself now and your future self, and minimizing stress. So, what is number 4? Let me check my notes here. Gratitude. Got to have gratitude. Why do you need gratitude? Why is gratitude so important? Gratitude is so important because of the physical effects on your body. When you experience gratitude, your body responds. And you are able to have more effective discussion, more effective communications, make more effective decisions. The challenging part is to have gratitude in situations that are not going your way. So somewhere along the line, you need to be able to have gratitude for the bad things that are happening in your life, and that's a hard thing to do. But when you can learn to do that, you can minimize stress. So, I told you when you get stressed, cortisol goes rushing to your brain and it just makes you dumb. It not only makes you dumb, and I mean that in the nicest possible way, please don't take that the wrong way, but it makes you ineffective in your decision making. And it actually does halve your IQ in a matter of seconds. So that's scientifically proven. Not only that, it actually messes with your immune system, your digestion system, your gut, like the flow-on effects to us as individuals, not only for our business, but us as people and individuals. And let's face it, what drives our business? Us. So if we're not well, if we've got like high stress levels, then your business is never going to be the thriving business that you want it to be. So we have to manage stress, and it's just part and parcel with being an entrepreneur or being in the home-based business, is that you're going to get stressed. And there's so many things to learn. There's all these new skills you need to learn, and you're sort of going it alone. So you need to make sure you're connecting with people that are on a similar journey to you, and you get the support that you need. And you minimize that stress by things like gratitude. It's like, okay, this is really testing me now. You might, like I've had times where I've been in tears, and if Courtney's still on live, she can, appreciate this as well, where you just think nothing's going right. I don't know if I'm doing the right things. I don't know if I continue this journey. This is hard work. I don't know if what I'm doing is the right actions to be taking. You compare yourself to other people and think, oh, they're doing really well. I'm not doing as well as them. And you conjure up all this, stuff in your brain. Learning to have gratitude with things is, okay, learning to ask questions like, what is this teaching me? What lesson? I'm learning a valuable lesson here. Have you ever thought in your life something's happened that's horrible, but then you've turned it around and said it was actually a blessing that happened, because then this happened? Have you had something like that in your life? Put the number 1 down below if that's happened. Like myself, I was in the corporate world. I was in my last job for 16 years. I was at the general manager level. It was my life. I didn't know anything different than wearing a suit every day and being in the corporate world. And, I loved it for the most part, but it was wearing me into the ground. And then, you know, family member passed away, and we picked up our life and moved to the country, which is where I am now. Now, I was devastated at the time. I reluctantly resigned from my job because where we were moving, I couldn't travel every day, and it was the end of the world for me at the time. We would come down here to the country and I would cry every time we got here and every time we left, because I'm like, what the hell am I going to do down here? I can't replace my corporate job down here in a country town. I was so lost. I was honestly just so lost, and I cried a lot. But when one door closes, another one does open. And so I moved in a different direction, and various doors have opened up for me in so many different areas. And I don't know how many times I've traveled to America in the last 18 months, and then other doors have opened, and it's just been an incredible journey. Now, none of that would have happened, and I wouldn't be here talking to you unless we had that family member pass away. So not only was it I was in turmoil myself as an individual, we had lost a family member very suddenly, and that was also very tragic. And at that point in time, it was awful, 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 awful. So the meaning of that is why? Why is this happening? Why did this person, pass away suddenly that shouldn't have at that age? And all those kind of things, and the meaning that you attach to it, and high, high, high levels of stress. But the gratitude in all of that is it just took me on a new journey, and I actually don't ever desire to go back to the corporate world, ever. So it's been a blessing. So you have to look at the blessings and the gratitude, even in tragic situations. You have to look at the gratitude side of it. What are you grateful for? And even when something goes wrong and you are really stressed about that thing that went wrong, you need to take a step back and go, okay, what lessons can I learn from this? It's not ideal. I'm hurting. I'm stressed. I'm upset. I'm mourning, whatever it is that's going on in the circumstance. But you need to take a step back and be grateful for whatever lesson it is that the universe has sent to you at that point in time to learn. So gratitude is a huge one. The last one, the fifth one, you got to move. You got to move. So, Leslie, I believe everything happens for a reason. I actually do too, Leslie. I don't always understand it at the time. And it's like, why is this happening? Like, you wouldn't believe how many family members we've lost to cancer. 3 generations in mine, and my sister's just dealt with breast cancer. My grandma, my mum, my sister, and I can't have conversations like that. I just got to trust that it's not me next. I don't know why those things happen. Leslie, as you said, honestly, I don't understand why things happen sometimes, but I do trust that things do happen for a reason, and we've got to learn and have gratitude from those lessons in whatever they are. So back to the fifth one. The fifth one is that, this looks really funny, is move. You've got to move, physically move. The way you counteract cortisol is by producing a hormone called DHEA. Now that's a hormone that's produced by your adrenal glands, and it actually counteracts cortisol. So one of the things that you can do to produce that is move, exercise, walk, get out of, that stressful environment, take a few deep breaths outside, get some fresh air, go for a walk, do something for you. You've got to move. You've got to move your body to reduce levels of stress in whatever way you know how. That might be just a few exercises in the floor in your lounge room, stretches, a fit ball or a yoga mat, or, just meditation, whatever it is. Well, that's not moving, but relaxing yourself and getting your body flowing. So, sorry, I've just got an alert here I need to get rid of. So moving. So the 5 main ways to help you deal with stress is, I've got to remember them now. 1, you've got to have realization that you are stressed. If this is making some sense, please send me some likes and loves that it's, you're getting some value out of this. But you've got to realize that you are stressed, and don't bury your head in the sand when something's not working. If a relationship is not working, deal with it. If your finances are not working, deal with it. If your business is not working, deal with it. Don't just push it to the side, Because in this industry, if you've got a home-based business entrepreneur and it's something you're doing on the side, how easy is it for you to go, I'm busy with my full-time job, I'm busy with my family, I'm busy doing all the other things I do in life, and you're just pushing it aside. So you're not taking control. You need to take control and realize what's stressing you out so you can deal with it. Unless you get that right, unless you get number one, you got no hope of dealing with all the other things. So number two, what was number two? Hang on. Let me go back to number two. Breathe. So breathe. So relaxation, meditation, whatever it is, at an absolute minimum. Walk away from a situation that triggers your stress and just breathe. So tummy breathe, not just like belly breathing. So important as a minimum. If you can take it a little bit further and do meditation and yoga, every morning before I've said this so many times, before my feet hit the ground, and when I first wake up, I'm having gratitude and breathing about, what I'm grateful for in my life. And before I put my meditation in at nighttime to switch off my brain, because I'm a shocker for overthinking, and I'm already thinking about what I'm going to do the next day, and I haven't even finished this day. Is having gratitude for whatever's happened that day, whoever's, in my life, my relationships, those kind of things. So, very, very important. Julie, I believe everything happens for a reason, and so can relate. Lost my dad suddenly, then my baby brother to cancer. I believe that's why I'm on this journey. Yeah, and that's just something, I get you, Julie, and it's those kind of things that you think, why? Why, especially, baby brother, I don't know how old he was, but, anyone younger than us, why would their life have to be taken like that? Like, it's really hard to understand sometimes why things happen. But at the end of the day, we can't change it. You can't dwell on it because it doesn't serve you. It only increases your level of stress, which increases your level of cortisol, which then makes you dumb, fat, and stupid and unhealthy. I'm not saying that to be mean to anyone out there. I realize it for myself. So we've got to counteract that cortisol by, realizing, for starters, okay, I've got some stress going on. I need to deal with it. 1. 2, when you're in a moment of stress, breathe. The other side of that is you get really, really anxious, or you get anxiety, and you're when we're stressed, we can do one or two things. We actually can stop breathing, or we can actually overbreathe, like hyperventilate. And I'm an asthmatic, and so that's happened to me. I remember once in my office years and years ago, I don't know what brought it on, something that was happening at work, but I've never had one since, but it's supposedly considered a panic attack. And my breathing went out of control. Now, because I'm an asthmatic, that just turned into then an asthma attack, and it was all sorts of problems. But, when you're stressed, you can either stop breathing, that's a medical fact, or you can sort of, get really stressed that way. So really important to control, your breathing at a minimum. The third thing that I mentioned was control the meaning of certain things. So whatever triggers your stress, that's one meaning that you associated with. So hack that meaning and work out what's reality. So the meaning of something is they hate me, they don't like me, my business is not working, it'll never work, this doesn't work. Like those general statements like that don't serve you. So control the meaning, hack your thought process and go, okay, what's really going on here? What can I learn from this? And what's really happening? Okay, I've just had an argument with such and such. It doesn't serve anybody to not talk to each other for 3 days, 3 years, 5 years. I mean, there are people out there that have had family feuds or feuds with friends and they just don't talk to each other ever again. That's not healthy for anybody. Now, so that was the third one, control the meaning. The fourth one was gratitude. Have gratitude for what you do have in your life, and have gratitude in some weird way for the things that make you stressed. By asking questions like, what can I learn from this? Okay, it doesn't make sense to me, but things happen for a reason, so there's got to be some kind of gratitude in here. Let me think about that. Okay, so have gratitude. And the last one is move your body. Have you ever exercised when you've been really stressed and you don't want to, but then afterwards you think, oh, I feel so much better? That's because physically, and you know what I said before, physically counteracts cortisol is producing the hormone DHEA. And how you do that through your adrenal glands is move your body, produce the happy hormones. We want happy hormones, not stressful hormones. Leslie, I believe people justify why something bad has or is happening to them because they don't want to face it. Too right, Leslie. That's why number 1 on that list of 5 is that you've got to actually confront yourself that you're stressed and something's going on and you need to deal with it, because people bury themselves in it and they make it okay. And the problem with that is that you'll stay stuck for the rest of your life. So if you've got an issue with a particular individual, or you're running a business and things aren't going your way and you get stuck there, you'll waste 3 months, 6 months, 12 months with a business that's never going to move forward. You'll waste months and years having an argument with somebody that was so petty and you could have resolved it with, a conversation. Have you ever had a conversation with somebody over a period of time and it's like, why didn't we have that conversation 3 months ago? Once you air things and get them out in the open and have the ability to communicate. And, sometimes I'll say to my husband, can you help me understand? Because it's not that I don't agree with you. I'm just trying to understand where you're coming from. So, have a higher quality level of conversation. And, as I said before, women are from Mars and men are from Venus, or is it the other way around? Does anyone know? If anyone's on live that knows, put that down. I'm not sure which way it is around. But you think people know what you're thinking. They don't. Other people don't know what you're thinking. So you need to communicate that with people. So in times of stress, realize what's going on. Do not bury your head in the sand like what Leslie, you were alluding to before, because they don't want to face it. If you don't face up to stress, if you don't face up to things that are going wrong in your business, in relationships and stuff like that, you're never going to move forward. You're never going to be a better version of you. You're never going to have a thriving business. So the only one that controls the outcomes, the destiny, of our life is us. So don't rely on other people to do that. Don't rely on other people to solve your problems. Don't rely on other people to tell you what to do in your business when you're in this space, an entrepreneurial space. You got to work it out for yourself. So take control, take charge. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. That's it, Peter. Thank you. That was it. I don't think I was saying it that way. And that's just reality. We're just wired differently and we think different. It doesn't make anyone wrong. Don't ever make yourself wrong for feeling stressed. Things are going to trigger you. You're never going to be untriggered by stress. It's just a part of life. Just be aware enough and in control enough to go, I'm really stressed here. I'm not feeling good about this. That argument shouldn't have happened. That situation shouldn't have happened. My business is not working. What can I do? I need to reach out for some help. I need to learn better skills because I actually really don't know what I'm doing. Or I need to have a conversation with that person because I'm actually really quite upset with them and they've got no idea. Yeah, I'm stressing about it and they don't know anything about it. Or I can't expect them to understand what I'm thinking when I haven't communicated it to them. Communication is key. Relationships, business, moving forward and becoming a better version of yourself. So I hope those 5 things help you sort of dissect stress. They're all important, but controlling the meaning of what's going on is really important for you. So you're going to get triggered by stress and it's going to bring out grief, tears, frustration, anger, all those kind of things. Roll with that for a bit, but don't sit on it. Just control the meaning in, okay, what's going on here and how can I fix it? What's going on, buddy? Saying hello. So, soapbox over. That's my little lecture for today. Those of you that listen to, a few of my lives, you'll know how important I think this is for you guys to, just even for myself going through this journey. When I've got myself sorted out, everything else gets better. My relationships are better. I'm happier. My business thrives. So it's all about us. You're number 1, your business becomes second. Your relationships become second. Your finances become second. Everything else comes secondary to you and what you think and how you move through life. So I really do truly hope that you got some valuable information out of this live today, and that if you can take on board one of those 5 or all of those 5 tips that I gave you to help you overcome stress, then that would make me very happy. So if you got value out of this Facebook Live today, please put the word value down below. If you feel comfortable with sharing this information out to other people that might be stressed, then tag them in it or share it out. I would be truly appreciative, because I would love to see a lot less people experience stress because most people in life do. Thank you for your feedback, Peter. Peter said it's very helpful. Leslie, very valuable information. I always appreciate what you have to offer, and I appreciate you giving me that feedback very much so. So thank you, Leslie, and thank you, Peter. So that's it from me, guys. I'll be back on live tomorrow. I've got a webinar first, so I might be on a little bit later, but I'm going to talk about some Facebook things to, a few little more, Facebook hacks and things to increase your, engagement and exposure. So it's a topic that we all need to know when we're building a business online. So thanks for all your feedback, guys. I really appreciate it. And from the Helen and Harley show, I was too busy biting me. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Thanks for watching. See ya.